What's going on, beautiful people in chat? Those of you watching on YouTube, I appreciate y'all for being here, baby. You tune into another episode of Talk About It with me, your host, T Easy. This is a space where real conversations happen, unfiltered, uplifting, and unapologetically focused on growth. Twice a week, we dive into thought provoking topics, sit down with some interesting people, doing even more interesting things, all with one mission in mind: to be better than we were yesterday. So, whether you're on the grind, you're in your zone, or you just need a little motivation to keep pushing forward, this podcast is for you. So, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, tell your friends about it, drop a comment, tell me what you liked about the pod, tell me what you didn't like about the pod. I'm all ears. I appreciate y'all for being here. I love y'all so much. Let's get right into the episode. God bless y'all. What's going on, beautiful people in chat? Those of you watching on YouTube, I appreciate y'all for being here, baby. You tune into another episode of Talk About It with me, your host, T Easy. This is a space where real conversations happen, unfiltered, uplifting, and unapologetically focused on growth. Twice a week, we dive into thought provoking topics, sit down with some interesting people, doing even more interesting things, all with one mission in mind: to be better than we were yesterday. So, whether you're on the grind, you're in your zone, or you just need a little motivation to keep pushing forward, this podcast is for you. So, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, tell your friends about it, drop a comment, tell me what you liked about the pod, tell me what you didn't like about the pod. I'm all ears. I appreciate y'all for being here. I love y'all so much. Let's get right into the episode. God bless y'all. What's going on, beautiful people in chat? Those of you What's going on, chat? Welcome back to another episode of the pod. Today's guest is someone who played a pivotal role for leadership for me when I was in college. Jake Sokoll is a sales rep at BSN Sports, coming previously from being assistant at the University of Pikeville's baseball team, where I actually had the privilege to meet him. Jake's a girl dad, husband, and although it may not have been his primary focus, he's had a role in helping build young men into leaders for some time now. So without further ado, please welcome Jake Sokoll to the podcast. Coach, how you doing?
Good, man. Just relaxing after a long day of work and after some t-ball. So
Yeah, T-ball life.
it's
What's it
over.
What's it like? Is it fun to watch, or is it like frustrating from the coach perspective?
Tell you one thing, it's a lot more fun to watch than 18-year-olds
You think so?
missing balls. They don't even know where to run. They don't even know where to run. But one thing, man, I just we talked about this before, but it's cool being able to watch a kid from the first game when they don't know you. They just know you, like we'll do practice and everything, but they don't know you at all. And then all of a sudden you're giving them high fives. You're saying, let's go, hit the ball hard, run to first, and then you're positively interacting with a kid.
Right.
The next game, like ready to go and play. Just very, very like that's why I love coaching. I miss it, but it's easy to get people to trust you when you're a very positive influence. And I know I'm talking about 4-year-olds, but like that's when they're a sponge. They
Yeah.
will
Well,
learn
too, I think
everything you say.
some of those connections, like you might only know a kid for a couple of years, but that connection of you being a coach and like getting them interested into something other than sandbox play, that might be something that sticks with them for the rest of their life.
But yeah, it's even though it's funny because I'm the coach of my daughter's team, but she's the only one that doesn't want to participate. She only wants to hit, and then I put her glove on and she runs to mommy and hangs out with me
Oh
and stuff,
man.
which I'm fine with. Everyone's like, "Oh, aren't you mad?" I'm like, "No, she's 4 years old. She'll figure it out.
Right.
She's let her be. Let her develop that personality, and if she wants to do it, I'm not gonna force her to do it."
It sounds like you're raising a DH.
I always I always joke with everyone she's gonna be the first female MLB player, but I think we'll have that soon.
Oh no, for
I'm a
sure.
big, but yeah, I tell my wife this all the time. I'm a big proponent for women and everything like that. I mean, I was raised by three, I have two twin sisters, 3 years older than me. My mom. I told my mom probably once a month. I'm like, I believe in a higher power because you're about as close as a saint
Yeah.
as you can get out. And I
Right.
tell my mom that all. She's a wonderful person.
Well, too, I
But
think like yeah, there's differences between men and women, but at the same time, if a woman's just as capable, then why shouldn't she get the opportunity?
oh, for sure, yeah. I've just seen so many like my sister Melanie is a talented singer, one great musician, and obviously my dad is too. My dad was pretty good at sports too, a good golfer. My sister Molly, she can, I mean, sports wise, is all right, but as far as artistic, my girl can. If you give her a paintbrush, she can paint the Mona Lisa.
Make magic
But
happen.
yeah, and that's I have a good relationship with both my sisters, and they know that I love them, and even at 38 years old, I mean, we still we're bickering at each other and stuff. But they also know that I would drive 6.5 hours if they needed me.
What's the age gap?
3 years. They're 38, and I'll be 35 in November.
Okay.
They were born in '87. I was born in '90.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I got two older sisters that I talk to, and the oldest is 10 years older than me,
yeah.
and then the other one's like 6 years older than me, which is crazy because I got a brother that's 6 years younger than me. So that means there's a 16-year age gap. But part of it's like they help raise me, so now it's cool to like watch them with Evie and like see them interact with her, and they love it. They love being aunties.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Both my sisters had, well, Molly, I would say my Melanie is the oldest by like 30 seconds, but Melanie has four boys, and then my sister Molly has a split. She's got a boy and a girl, and then I'm the
Four
middle baby.
boys. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, well, they're all good babies, so we're very fortunate. We have a very big family, and that's another thing I'll tell you is, you know, Kate's family, my wife, her family is very small. Like it was, when I first met her, and we've been together since 2013, and when I first met her, it was Grandpop, Robin, Becky, and Caitlin. That's it. And then we had a few other aunts and uncles, but as far as immediate family, and then I have my mom's got three brothers, my dad's got three brothers. One of my mom's brothers has seven kids. They
Oof.
have, yeah, so I just have a huge family, and
Right.
uh, yeah, that's one good thing. I think that just you get so many different personalities, but that's what I love. That's what I miss about everything in my generation. I know you're a little younger than me, but growing up, man, Christmas Eve we'd go over my granny's house. They touch football in the snow.
Oh yeah.
You have 3 feet of snow and stuff, and we do celebrate Christmas together and a tight knit family. You don't. It's tough to see that nowadays because everyone prioritizes work, and I don't I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be a workaholic, and it almost cost me my relationship
Right.
with my wife, which we weren't married at the time, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you think
So,
in that perspective, because that's kind of the same for me and Matea. So like
mm,
Matea has a big like great grandparents, great great grandparents, and then she actually lost her great 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 grandpa not too long ago. So like we come into starting our own family. She's got all these grandparents, and I'm like, Evie, I ain't got much to offer you. I'm sorry. You got two aunts and an uncle. That's
yeah.
really about it. So, do you think in a sense, like with having kids, that your wife might have had a little animosity in the sense of like, well, he's got everybody, and I don't really have that big of a circle.
I think where it becomes a fair advantage for her is the fact that her mom lives an hour from here.
That's fair.
And her so Claire, and we all call Aunt Robin Raba because Claire started calling her Raba, so we all call her that now.
Stuck.
But they're just wonderful, and if we need them to come over and help us, like if we need to go out of town real quick, they're always they're always there, and I think that's where she has the advantage, as far as like her family's an hour away, mine's 6.5.
I got you.
So it's a little harder for them, my parents, to get here. So even when Margot was being born, Kate was having Braxton Hicks contractions, and I'm a warrior, so I'm just like, let's go to the hospital now.
Right.
So we got to the hospital like 2 days early, and my mom stayed. I feel bad, but she took a whole entire week off, and she only needed to be there for like 2 days. But she came 3 days early before Margot was born because I was like, hey, I think she's.
Yeah, Braxton Hicks will get you every time. No, that's yeah, definitely. I felt the. Well, it was weird because it was like I had a big family and then I didn't. So to see like Mateo, like there was a lot of resentment. I feel like when we first had Evie, in the sense of like watching her with Matea's parents, it was like I can't really give her anything in this aspect. Which I know like she gets plenty of love from Matt and Wendy, but it was difficult for a while. But it comes with just figuring out parenting and being an adult. You kind of just have to navigate it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about being your own. Augie Garrido is one of my favorite coaches of all time. Everyone, I've met him before. I don't know if you know who that is, but Augie Garrido is the winningest baseball coach in NCAA Division I history.
No, see, I didn't know that. The name was
He
familiar.
used to, he used to coach the Texas Longhorns back in the 2000s and everything, and he was at um, um, Cal State Fullerton for a
Mm.
long time. And he didn't have any kids. He just had a wife and didn't have, and he was he. Everyone always talks about that one moment where you get remembered. His players remembered him a lot better when he was talking to them like humans. But in reality, he would always talk to them about being in a fist fight and comparing it to life. And like you've probably seen the video of where he walks in the locker room and he starts mother effing them and
Yeah.
everything like that, and he starts pounding on the table. They said he probably only has done that 3 times,
Ever.
in his career. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like when they videoed that, like, but then after, being a coach, like when you get that kind of spark and your players and they understand that. And here's the biggest thing. What I used to tell you guys is you have to get the message, not the tone.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that comes in with my kids. Like when I'm talking to my kids, like if I don't yell. I'm not a yeller. You've never heard me yell before. Only one time at
Yeah.
Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, maybe one time. Yeah. Yeah, maybe once.
Yeah. But the biggest thing, man, is I want my kids to know that when I'm talking to them, like they can have their own opinions and they can, as far as I don't like the term, like when I'm talking to my kid, I don't want to be like, you're gonna do this because I said so.
Right.
I want my kid to know why I'm telling them to
Yeah.
do something.
Right.
Because in reality, if I go somewhere and someone's like, hey, why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, my dad told me to do this. Instead of like, no, this is the right thing to do. This is the good thing to do.
Right.
It's good at a young age to talk to your kids about what they're doing and how to explain things to them, which my wife is excellent at. My wife's a hospice social worker, but it's an even better mother.
I don't know what I'd do without Matea. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, seriously, man. My wife is a rock star. I mean, when I went up there for my grandfather's cleaning out his house and everything, he took care of the kids the whole time. She didn't complain one time, and she was with the girls for 48 hours pretty much straight, and I only saw her for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
A rock star.
Yeah.
Like, just a very unselfish person. But going back to just like just being able to relate everything to life and sport. That's all I've known my whole life.
Yeah.
I want my kids to know that they don't have to play sports, but that's how I've made my friends.
Yeah. Well,
all
it's
of my
more.
friends.
I think my
But,
takeaway is like I don't care what you do, but it's gonna be something. Like whatever you're passionate about, we'll do. We're not going half in, half out. Like if it's like, as much as I would hate it, I would hate the sport. I'm not gonna watch it in my free time, but I wouldn't mind to watch her play it. But like say it's soccer. Okay, it's soccer, full tilt. We're gonna go all the way in. We're gonna, you know, if you that's what you're passionate about, that's what you love to do. That's what we're gonna do. And if you change your mind and you want to do something else, then we'll do that full tilt. But we're not gonna be half in, half out.
yeah, we always make Claire finish sports. Like I don't think she likes soccer very much, and she pouts when she doesn't kick the ball and stuff. But my biggest thing with her is, if you're gonna start something, you need to finish it.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna. You're gonna go to these games, and you're gonna sit on the sideline and watch your friends play. You're not gonna run and play with flowers and stuff. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna watch them play. And then what's gonna happen is he's gonna see how much fun they're having, and then she's gonna want to go out there and play.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of we're getting to the point where Claire's testing me a little bit because she knows I'm a pushover.
There's something about them girls, man. They get you every time.
Yeah, she gets a lot of trouble from daddy.
So let's talk about that girl dad. Nothing better.
Mm-hmm. No, I tell my wife this often. I said I don't know what life was like before my girls.
Everybody's always like, don't you want a boy? And I was like, I mean, yeah, but also I don't really care. Like I would like to have one, but I don't need one. I like being a girl dad. But right now I'm at the point of like I want another one, but I don't. Like I really like being Evie's dad, and I don't necessarily want her to like feel neglected because we have another baby. But it's just I really love my life right now, and adding the stressors and putting Matea through it again. I don't know if I'm really ready for that. But granted, if it happened, that's God's plan.
I'll tell you one thing. So, talking about that, if you think that you can't handle 2 kids, or you think you're gonna put your wife through something, you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her body is made to handle that kind of stress.
Yeah.
And her body. So we're not.
No,
not
at all. Not at all.
I would be in the hospital for a year.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's shots.
So, that's one thing that's magnificent about everyone. When my wife's having our child, with Claire, everyone's like, "Oh, don't look, man! Don't look, man!" That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Is watching my kid come into the world. That was an unbelievable experience. And I hope everyone in their, if they want kids, I hope they get to experience that moment watching her come.
Yeah,
Watching him.
I think the overall feeling in the room. Like you ever walked in somewhere and you got a bad feeling?
Yes.
So like it's the complete opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the feeling in the room is like light. Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's just like, I think that was in April. I had like been open to the idea of getting back into faith. And then that was kind of like, okay, there's something's at play here that's bigger than me. And then ultimately that October, I started reading the Bible for Sober October, and then I was hooked. I was like, yeah, I gave my life to God. I got baptized in March. But that was the factor for sure. Granted, it definitely helped that, like in the terms of scripture, like Matea held me down in the sense of, I wasn't a believer, but she was patient and like letting me get to that point by myself and not forcing me to go to church and do stuff that I didn't want to do. And then it was time, and I was like, yeah, And granted, now sometimes I feel like I definitely am a different person than I was before March. But now it's just like I'm in the sense of I just ran with it, and a lot of people don't like the way I'm going about my life now, but it's not their life.
Always remember that you have complete control over your life. There's things that are out of your control, and once you start letting the things in your life control the things that you can't control, then you're gonna have problems. I never in my life, even with my job is very stressful because I have many coaches that rely on me to get their orders and everything like that. Well, when things get back ordered or when they get pushed back or something gets messed up, I can't go right to, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. You know what? Take a breather, man. Like,
Yeah.
we can wait one more day for that T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We can wait one more day, all that stuff. But you always, I think about it like this: if I have a bad experience at a restaurant and they come out and they try to make it right, so like, say they mess my food up or something. I am the first time I'm 40% like more willing to go back to that restaurant because
Yeah.
they made it right.
Right.
If they don't, I'm not gonna go back.
Mm-hmm.
People respect you more if you fix it on the front end when you fix it than when you don't fix it on the back end.
Yeah.
You always got to try and be, the thing. Just that's my main spiel here is just things that are out of your control don't get to dictate your life or how you feel about certain situations. All you got to do is say, I can't control that. What I can control, how I talk to my wife, how I come home from work.
Right. Literally.
The past few months I've been a little stressed and everything, and I'm just gonna be blunt with you. I haven't, me in my eyes, like, my wife tells me I'm a good husband, everything like that, but sometimes I feel like I'm closed off because I'm thinking too much about work. I'm thinking too much about something else besides focusing on the three things in my life that matter the most, which are my girls.
Yeah.
So again, my wife is very good at saying, don't being blunt with me. It's like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, and those are things that keep me not in line, but those are things that help me
keep you grounded.
Keep me grounded and make me think about what's going on in my life, and then I start taking steps forward from there. If I had someone that's like, oh yeah, everything's going fine for you, like patting me on the back, I'm gonna have some false hope there, and then everything's gonna come crashing down.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy you say that because that's kind of where I'm at too. Do you think it's like do you think a lot of it is you're trying to hold yourself to a standard to show your family, like especially being a girl dad, like more than me probably, but you have to show your girls how they're supposed to be taken care of, opposed to like a boy you would teach them how to be a man. Do you feel like that's the extent of you stressing yourself out so much? Because that's what I'm going through right now. It's like I'm stressing myself out. And granted, Matea, I don't know, she has this sense of like, okay, he needs like me to tell him that he's doing good, or he needs me to be like, you're focusing on the wrong things. Like, let's lock in, figure it out together.
How I answer that question is how you see your wife every day. How you treat your wife every day. Your daughter's gonna see that. She's gonna see, oh, mommy's smiling because daddy's home. You have to be able to, just because you're telling someone, oh, you're a really good girl, I love you. If you're showing, she spent 9 months with her mommy.
Right.
Her bond is a lot stronger with mommy. So if she sees that, oh, mommy's happy when daddy's around, now you're going to get to the point where she already knows how she wants to be treated.
Yeah.
She'll get it. But also reverting back to expressing it to them is, what I do with Claire is I'll walk over to her, I'm like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. I'll like waddle over like she's in trouble. I'll just tell her, I said, I love you. You're a good kid. I'll say it. She'll go, Dad, and then she'll walk away. But those are the things, those little conversations are the ones that they remember.
Yeah.
You don't always have to, even if you shut a movie, like I do the dumbest stuff, like I'm a 35-year-old guy and I freaking build forts for my daughter when she gets home from daycare so we can watch movie nights.
No, that's lit. That's what I need. She's got a princess pop-up today, so she's obsessed with that for the moment.
Those are the things that I do. Is I do. Kate and I don't buy gifts for each other most of the time. We'll buy experiences. We'll go to Disney. We're going to Disney in December. We took Claire to Hawaii last year. You know, and those are things that she'll remember, and she'll be able to cherish those memories with her Mimi and her Raba and my parents and everything. Is we're going to Michigan, going here, going there. Not, oh, I got an Elsa doll. She doesn't remember. I bought her an Elsa doll 2 days ago. She doesn't even know where it is.
Yeah.
She remembers. Hey, can we go back on the ship?
Yeah.
We took a cruise to Hawaii. She remembers. She'll remember anything. She remembers all that stuff, man. So that's.
Yeah, definitely. I see that though. The memories are more important than the physical things.
100%.
Me and Matea got into puzzles recently, and she played me because I have OCD. And I mean, $10, and we just get to spend hours together. I don't know what's better than that. But also, she gets frustrated because my brain works to solve problems. So I'm like seeing pieces over here that go on the other end. And then she'll be like, I was looking for that piece for 20 minutes. Puzzles and cops. Thriving.
Yeah, when I first met Kate, man, we went on vacation. And all of a sudden, my girl's family can lay on the beach for 8 hours and be okay.
Just
I
sit
sit on the
still?
beach for 10 minutes.
No
Like,
shot.
They don't burn. It's the most incredible thing. It's like you're not human. But like, I'll get out there and I'll play with Claire for a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna go on the golf cart, or I'm gonna get off the beach. Like, I don't really like to sit in the heat and stuff. I like to go do stuff.
Yeah.
And
If you're gonna be in
you
it, you
know,
want to do something in it. I just sit there.
yeah, like I'll go out in the ocean, swim and stuff, or like I'll go in the pool and do cannonballs and stuff. But I like to relax in different ways. Like, I'll drive the golf cart around because we go to Ocean Lakes and Myrtle Beach almost every year. You can rent a golf cart and everything, and I'll just go out and take a drive with Claire and put my arm around her, and we'll just not even talk. We'll just look at stuff and point at different stuff, birds and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I like that point of view. I think I'll have to play into that. Matea's wanting to go to Disney. And granted, I mean, I think the first Disney trip, it'll be more for us. She's not going to remember it, but we're going to remember it. And I've never been to Disney, so. But she gets in for free for the first, I think it's like 3 years old. 3 and younger get in for free.
How old is she?
16 months.
Oh yeah, you need to fly as much as you can before she turns 2. Save a ton of money.
Yeah.
So.
Granted, though, I like driving. So me and Mateo are actually going to Virginia Beach next weekend for our anniversary. And I just landed on that because it's less drive time than going to Florida. Because eventually we're going to move down there. But I've been driving back and forth for Ohio for work, and I just don't want to sit in the car for 13 hours. So Virginia Beach it is.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I can drive a little bit, but we went down to Surfside, or I think it's Seaside. It's Seaside. That's in the Panhandle. It's like by Destin, and most beautiful place ever. I enjoy it. You can drive a golf cart up and down the road. It's because they got license plates on them. 30A. You ever heard of that?
I think so.
Is like yeah, that's where PCB is. That's 30A.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, we're about. I think we're looking at Pensacola is probably where we're gonna move to when we get out there.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
We were looking at, so originally it was like, let's go to Hollywood Beach. It's like right off. It's like an hour from Miami. So I was like, okay. So we went down there and we liked it, and then I was like looking into it, and like that area gets hit real bad by hurricanes and crime rates super high. So I was like, let me find somewhere else, and then I landed on Pensacola. But she had 3 options. It was Tennessee, Texas, or Florida, and she chose Florida. She wanted to be on the beach. She said she had enough mountains. So I was just trying to go somewhere with no state income tax. Those were the 3 places that you could go. But she claims to be a big road trip girly until we get on the road trip and she falls asleep, and then it's just me by myself. Typically listen to podcasts. I
The
think
best story I'll tell you. Drove up to Michigan with Kate. I think it was the first time I ever drove up there with her in 2013. I drove the whole entire way. She slept the whole entire way. We got on my parents' exit. 6 hours later, wakes up. Hey, taps me. I'm like, what's up, honey? He goes, do you need me to drive? I was like, we're 2 miles from my parents' house. No, I'm good. I think I got this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire
That
life.
is funny. Mateo did something similar. We were driving to Hollywood Beach, our first vacation together, and we're driving. I think we stopped in like Alabama or something, and like we left at like midnight, I think, and we stop at a gas station and we come out and she's like, yeah, I'm doing really great. Like I'm awake. And I was like, yeah, you are surprisingly doing pretty well. And it wasn't even 5 minutes off getting back on the exit. She's snoring in the passenger seat. And I was like, that wasn't long lived.
No.
But no, yeah, for sure. I feel like the memories are what the kids are going to remember. And it's something more for us to take than getting them a toy that they liked in the moment. So I know you said you wanted to talk about your grandpa, uh, and we kind of got into it beforehand, but you said this has been your hardest loss in your adult life. What do you think, in that sense, that is? Like, it's just how deep of a connection it was, or just like one that you is it? Was your grandpa one of those people that you feel like, oh, he's just gonna live forever?
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it's. Yeah, obviously because he was 94, but he was also in such good shape that it's like my dude doesn't age. And
Yeah.
then, so my biggest thing, man, with him was we would watch golf together and we would barely say any words together. And then once you know, taught me how to play golf, we started working at Taylor Meadows when I lived in Michigan. I worked there when I was 15 years old until I was 21, and then I got a job at Green Meadows, Pikeville, so I worked there in the summer. Here, paying for an apartment while I was playing. Um, but the relationship was at birth. You know, when I was just born, I think I came home from the hospital, and my sister Melanie was running a fever or something like that. And my grandfather held me in his lap, and I didn't move. I didn't cry. I didn't. It was like for hours. I just. I don't know, that's what my mom said. Like I don't. Obviously, I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the picture, you know, but he influenced my life tremendously. He taught me hard work and how to treat women and never to let your gas gauge get below a half tank.
It's pretty good.
I do what you would always fill up at a half tank.
That's good. That's good advice.
He, you know, we used to, you know, they say 80% of friendships that badger at each other, that like make fun of each other, scold each other, roast each other, that's your most loyal friendships, and that's your most respected. They respect you the most, and that's exactly what me and my brother did, man. We, gosh, you know, I'm a better golfer than I was when I was playing a lot with him, but you know, I'd hit a bad shot, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's a dumb shot, Jake," and he'd just like talk a whole bunch of crap to me, and like he just, I don't know, he was everything that I wanted to be. He was my dude. So now I have that relationship with my dad.
Right. Do you feel like, in the sense of kind of the core values he's taught you, that you're working towards that? I feel like for me, one of my biggest like role models in life was my dad, and there's things that I knew that he was good at and things he was bad at, and in my opinion, I don't think I'd ever be as good as him, but I'm working to get there. If that makes sense.
I think he's, you know, um, he said one time, he's like, Jake, I want you. He's like, I want you to be better than I ever was. I've told that to my wife several times. Like, my wife has a doctorate in social work. Every time I said, I want you to be more successful than I am. And in turn, we're a unit. So we're going to be successful
Right.
together.
Right.
So, but, yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't. My mom, my mom told me one time, she said that grandpa pulled her aside and she's like, I don't know what Jake's going to do without me. This was like 10 years ago. I'm just like, wow. What a dick.
No, for sure. I do you feel like it would have been harder if it was like if you were younger, like you said that you were like in college or even before that?
Good question.
Did I cut out?
What is that?
Oh, I thought you said repeat your question. I thought I cut out.
No, I said that was a good question. I losing him, it didn't. I don't think it matters. So the relationship has always been strong. So I think even at a young age, like I lost his wife, my granny, in 2006. I spent my 16th birthday in the hospital with her. She was dying of cancer, and then she died the next morning. So that was. I remember I had to take my driver's test that day. I turned 16, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta take my driver's test." But I didn't know she died. I didn't know she died that morning. She died as soon as I started. Actually, I think she died as soon as I got done with my driver's test. My mom was with me, and I passed, and then I called my grandpa. I told him, and he goes, he's like, I never had a doubt, and then he's like, you're a better driver than I'll be, and whatever. He's like, I just want to let you know that your granny passed away about 15 minutes ago or an hour ago or something like that. They didn't want to tell me
Right.
that she'd passed because I was taking my test.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of family that I have. They're very unselfish people.
That's good. I mean, I definitely think it shows. I mean, especially like being able to be around you enough to kind of see how you treat your family and treat your girls. It definitely shows. I mean, that's I've never met him, but I feel like if he's taught you so much, then I definitely have in a sense through you.
Yeah, I'm just. My wife calls me very gentle. Like I'm just always even keel. Like I'm never like super wiry or
Right.
pissed or anything like that, or like super low. I'm just when I bought a new truck, like I was driving that sport track, and I was, thank God that this didn't happen when Claire was in the car, but I took Claire in my wife's car to daycare in the morning. I came back to the house, got changed, went out for meetings, and I didn't realize that my brake line was leaking. Sorry, so I don't know if you know where Keezer Heights is, but that's where I live, and you have to drive half a mile up a pretty steep hill.
Right.
When I was coming down it, I started hitting my brakes. I'm like, oh, this isn't
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I bought the truck, and then as soon as my brakes didn't work, I bought the truck, and I realized that they told me that the emergency brake didn't work. I'm like, I'm gonna have to slam this thing into park or try to. Oh, I tried to slam it. I tried to ram it up into reverse or something, just blow the transmission in it. I'm going like 25, 30 miles an hour and increasing speed.
Oh man.
So like I'm driving down the hill, and I see US 23, and then I see a ditch that's like 10 feet deep, and then I see mailboxes and then another ditch. I'm like, and then I saw a little gravel spot. Something told me, go swerve over to that gravel spot and try to spin this thing out. Went over, spun it out, turned to the side, and my tires caught, but it slowed the car down enough to where I just barely rolled into the ditch. And I was like this. So I called my wife and said, "Hey, honey," she goes, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I got into a car accident." She's like, "What?" So I just said it like that. She's like, "You're the most calm person."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you should have saw my heart rate."
Yeah. Is that something you pay a lot of attention to, like health wise? I feel like you're a pretty fit guy. You did you still do CrossFit?
No, I got it back into heavy lifting again, man. Like when
I
Claire
was about to say
born,
you look pretty beefy right now.
yeah, I got back into heavy lifting and stuff, and you know, went to the doctor. You know, one of my good friends is Mark Reed, and he's my family physician, and he took my. I just wanted to get annual blood work and everything. He's like, "Man, your cholesterol is pretty high." I have a tendency to not eat throughout the day, and it stems from coaching college. Like
Right.
when I was coaching ball, I would do your morning workouts, and then I would go right into the office. I'd be in the office from like 5 a.m. until 11, then we'd go eat lunch. I've worked 6 hours already, and I haven't had lunch. And then after that, I wouldn't eat until 7, 8 o'clock at night, until after practice. So it was like I was malnourished. And now, when Claire was born, you know, we had the CrossFit gym for a little bit, and then our friend sold it. And then, you know, I kind of lost. It's almost like you know, and I've never talked to anyone about this before, but it's almost like I lost the will to go to the gym again.
Mm.
Because that's where I'm at. Dude, the CrossFit community was so good for us. You know, CrossFit's kind of going on the wayside because there's some things going on at corporate, but you know, the community's still there. But the biggest thing for me is like, Caitlin and I have a lot of friends because of CrossFit. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of our best friends are from our CrossFit gym, and everything like that. Like I wouldn't be the person I am without, you know, we got friends that were in med school and now they're coming back, and you know, when you have certain communities that have the same ideas and like interests as you, that's where the connection begins. You know, like
Yeah.
when I go to the YMCA, like I'll talk to someone at the YMCA. I'm a pretty friendly guy, but you know, I'm not gonna have a full-blown conversation. You know, and the most symbolic thing about suffering, like, and suffering meaning through a CrossFit workout,
Like through exercise.
yeah, try to
Not emotionally. Well, a little emotionally, but not.
yeah.
I get
So
you.
physically,
Yeah.
well, suffering through exercise with a whole bunch of people brings you closer together.
I guarantee
I
it.
promise you.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you see that in sports.
Yeah, when you're going through something like, you're all on the same level because you're all performing at your best with the certain weight that you want to use. That's why everything's scaled. Something that's heavy to you might be light for me, or vice versa. You can scale it however, but you are putting out the same effort, hopefully, as the person that is working out with you. And at the end, when you're laying on the floor, heart rate's through the roof, like, and then after you're like, man, that workout was unbelievable. And then, you know, after that, I think for me, getting back into working out has been a godsend for me, because I have to have my alone time. I spend a lot of time with my family. I
Yeah.
love being around my girl. But there's something about just being able to put my AirPods in, listen to a podcast that's normal speed, not 1.5, and just being able to be by myself, not answer phone calls, and be able to just lift and know that I'm taking care of my body and making sure that I'm around for 60 more years for my children.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest thing right now.
So like, when you said you got your blood tested back and he said your cholesterol was high, did you like, was it that your food schedule was off, so you just kind of implemented eating better correctly?
Yeah, so I changed my diet a little bit. Like I'll snack at night, but for the most part, like I'll eat pretty clean during the day. Um, but the reason why I have a history of heart disease in my family.
Mm.
So like cholesterol's obviously that's it's a chemical or whatever you want to call it that is clogging arteries and everything
Yeah.
like that. So, um, when you get into that, man, it's kind of like a wake up call.
Yeah.
It's like I'm 34 years old. I have high cholesterol. This is what's wrong with America. You can't get. There's an issue when organic food costs 3 times as much as
No, for sure.
cheaper at McDonald's. It's almost and I just tried to. Kate and I tried to cook at home and everything like that as much as we can. That way we know how it's getting cooked, and we went out to B-dubs with our friends and everything like that. And but for the most part, we tried to. My wife eats like she's very scheduled with her food. She's unbelievable. I don't tell her that enough because I really don't. Like that's one thing. I know I'm getting off subject, but the one thing with Kate is I don't. I tell her I love her all the time and she's beautiful and stuff, but I don't tell her how intelligent she is because she plans her meals. She's got to drive all the time for work. She plans that way she can eat in the car.
Mm.
She normally doesn't spend money out. Like she's very good with money and everything. And no, I just being open about it. Like I probably need to. Oh, she's a smart cookie, I guess.
Yeah.
But get it.
Well, it's always those compliments. You just are so used to seeing it that you take for granted. I was actually talking to somebody today about um, like blessings and how we take advantage of them sometimes because we live in the day to day. Like for example, like kids. I was like, of course it's gonna be moments where you're frustrated or you're irritated. I was like, but how many times have you woke up and thought, "Oh, I have to do this with the kids today," and not, "I get to do this with the kids today"? Like, how many people would be in your would kill to be in your position? We just take advantage of blessings every day.
I think about that all the time when they do. I watch YouTube. I'm a big golfer, so like and people are incredible. Like you got a guy that has a machine where he can't walk, but it like stands him up so he
Right.
can swing a golf.
Right.
I can walk to the golf course if I want to and be able to. I wouldn't say play normal, but play without something having to lift me up.
Yeah.
Which for the most part, that guy like when people can adapt, that's amazing. That's what's amazing about the human body is like when people learn how to adapt for a while, they become dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, when you get into certain predicaments in your life, whether it be faith or whether it be fitness or whether it be, changing careers, like if you don't, if you can learn how to adapt by wanting to and by um, not by fear, you're just going to become such a better fit for what you're trying to do.
Right.
I don't know if that came out right, but like that's the biggest thing for me is like I always talk about adjustments, like being a coach and everything like that. But it really is, if you want to make a change in your life, you can't fear what's ahead because it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, that's too. I mean, that's kind of the kind of the motto of what we do over here is just being better than yesterday. That doesn't mean like making huge changes every day, but knowing what you did bad yesterday and then fixing it the next day or working to fix it. Some things you're not gonna be able to fix in a day or a week or a month or a year, but working towards being better than what you were is the ultimate goal in life.
1% better is what they say.
Yeah.
So, I know Nick Bear has a go one more. So he's just like I'm gonna run 6 miles and I'm just like I'm going tired and everything. I'm gonna go one more, and then all of a sudden I just spark something in you.
Yeah.
That's the most wonderful thing about being able to harness that is I'll even do that when I'm working out. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do 11 instead of 10 or
Yeah.
something like that. It's just like little, or like make my bed. Caitlin makes my bed all the time for some reason, but whenever I do it, like that means I get to come home after work and put the kids down, and then I go into a made bed.
Yeah.
Accomplish something in the morning, and now I get to benefit it in a clean, nice, folded bed. Like it's just simple stuff like that that can change your mindset for everything. Like, but Kate and I are pretty routine based. Like I'll drop the girls off at like 7:30 for daycare, and then I'll go work out until like 8:30.
Yeah.
And then I normally have meetings from 10 until 3. But I'll take the girls to daycare. I get to have that, 3 minutes with them. We live 2 miles from where the baseball field is, pretty much. But it's cool to know that the girls, even our baby's in the routine. Like she knows what's going on, and they're just like, all right, I'm ready to go to daycare. It's just they get into a routine, and that's how life flows, and but
How much are you trying to teach them that, like, it's ideal to meet that routine, but like you can't be stressed out if that routine doesn't play out? Like, you know what I mean? So like I know for me, like OCD, I hope Evie doesn't ate up with it. But like if I come up with okay, that's why I really don't live by schedules, because I know if I don't do my schedule, then that's all I'm gonna think about. So like, is it something that you're instilling in them? Like, this is our plan, but if it doesn't work out that way, God's got us. Is that kind of the premise?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, if like sometimes we're 15 minutes late or something like that, I'll say, hey, we gotta go. We're a little late. It's like, I just tell them, like, they know, she doesn't have the concept of time.
Yeah.
But now her knowing that daddy's gonna take her to daycare,
Mm-hmm.
mommy, daddy, or Mimi's gonna pick her up from daycare. She knows that she's going to daycare. She's gonna have fun with her friends. Gonna come home, and then we'll do something. I think my biggest flaw is I try to have too much fun with Claire. Like, I always want to do something after daycare. Go to the park. Let's build forts.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Instead of having one night after daycare where we can come, decompress, let her play in her room. I always want to hang out with her like she's my best friend.
Yeah.
And that's when we first got pregnant, Kate and I talked about it, and she's like, I don't really want my daughter to be my best friend. Now that has wholeheartedly changed.
Well, yeah.
Because we weren't parents before. Like, we don't know how to feel.
Right.
She would see videos of people like, oh, my daughter's my best friend. And in reality, now she's just like, now I get it.
But also, I think there's a point. I think it has something to do with them being connected for 9 months. But I think Matea's kind of even realized it. Evie's so like clean right now with being sick and stuff, and this is that age where she always wants her mom, like everybody else's chopped liver. She's like, one day, she's probably not gonna like me as much as she does right now. So trying to, although I'm sure as a mom you get touched out. Like I need a minute. I can't do this right now. But even taking a breath and being like, she needs me right now, but one day she's not gonna need me. That makes me sad to think about. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'll just, like, it's so freaking funny. Like, probably once a week this happens. I always fall. There's some times where I'll be putting Margot down, and then she's in her Berlin suit. It's like she looks like a Michelin man that way. All over. So she'll be laying on this arm, and then all of a sudden Claire will come in at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then she'll lay on this arm. One morning I woke up and both my girls were on both of my arms, and and then I looked over at Caitlin and she's snoring. I mean, that's cute.
Oh yeah.
Having all my girls with me was just cool. I never told Caitlin about that, but like it's just I just stayed awake. As soon as I woke up, I just stayed awake and I enjoyed it. Both of my arms were numb.
Yeah.
That's the things that
There's nothing better than that, man. Like, I felt a real big transition from, being me and Mateo were married, but it was like a hunger that I had to make a set amount of money. And I mean, I see it as God humbling me up, and you don't need money. This is the best blessing you'll ever receive. And I mean, that's in that sense. Like I told Mateo, I'll have as many as you want to have. I'll make jokes like, "You got 5 more. You better get on it." But I could not do 5. But it's just to mess with her. But
Yeah,
now it's
that's
like, it was okay. Let's do 3, and then we had Evie, and we like being her parents so much. It's like, yeah, I want another one, but I'm not in a rush to have another one.
that's what I told Kayla. Obviously, when we first started talking about, like even just joking about it. We got a good thing going on right now. I don't know if I want to start
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Because I promised you, I think I went to a sales meeting one weekend, and Kate's just like, I'm gonna teach Claire how to go to the bathroom. She's gonna potty train her. And so the next day, Kate texts me. She goes, "Good morning, Claire's potty trained." It took 24 hours to potty train my daughter.
I wish.
That will never happened in American history. Like that's everyone. I hear the struggles about people, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, like it's so hard." I mean, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was witchcraft, something,
Something.
but it was the most incredible thing. And it's once we got to that point, it's like, oh, she's a normal human being. If she needs to go potty, we'll take her to the potty.
Yeah.
I'm more person or anything.
Evie's getting
Watching,
close. We got her a little training toilet, and then she'll say like pee pee. So we'll take her in there, and she'll sit there, but she doesn't go to the bathroom until she stands up. It's close though. She's close.
there you go. But I think one thing that you'll realize if you guys want to have other kids, it's great being a parent.
Oh yeah.
More beautiful. But the most beautiful thing to watch is watching your oldest be a big sister. Claire absolutely loves her little sister. She loves on her. She's not jealous. Like Caitlin and I try to devise time, but I mean Claire's fine with that. But I mean she's such a good big sister. She loves on her. She wants to hold her all the time, and it's very cool to watch and watch her become I guess you could say she's kind of like a role model for her.
I didn't even think about that because Evie's really good with other kids. But granted, a lot of her like friends, I guess per se, like my friends' kids are older than her, and some of them are in the age where like they don't understand that she's smaller than they are. So it's like hugs on the head that are like they're lifting her off her feet. Granted, it's good for her. You got to get roughed up a little bit. She does it herself. She'll run into tables. She stays with some type of cut or black eye or something. She's a heathen, man. And right now, I think with she's got like teeth coming in with her being sick, so like her equilibrium's off. So she's like standing up underneath tables. It's a feat right now. But no, it's great. I love it. It's hectic, but like I think as a man, like it brings so much out of you. Like especially girl dads. Do you feel like before? Let me take you back to before you had kids. Going into being a parent, like kind of what were your expectations, and then what did you quickly learn about yourself in the sense of like do you feel like having a girl kind of taught you skills that you needed that you didn't know you didn't have?
Oh. No. I think I don't know, and just going into as soon as Kate, we were very fortunate. Kate and I, we were very fortunate that we got pregnant very quickly. We don't like to talk about it with other people because we know that there are people that struggle.
Right.
Everything. We were very fortunate, and I think I don't know if I was scared, but like it was almost like I was relying a lot on Caitlin. She reads the books. She listens to the podcast. She is the organizer. She was like, okay, like if but then it came to the point where how do we keep it alive?
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
thought.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
And you had kid, like, how old were you when your daughter was born?
25.
Yeah. See, I was 30 when Claire was born. Like, I wouldn't say I'm much older, but that's the biggest thing, man. It's like, man, am I really ready? I'm just like, well, I have friends that had kids when they were 16, so
Yeah. You figure it out.
I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty ready.
Yeah.
I have a good job, and we're both pretty set with how we're doing, and that's one thing. That's one of the reasons why I left college coaching. And then there was another reason, but we won't air that out.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Actually, I want to go to a point of, I will say, like, you touched on it earlier, talking about like how like connected to people you are, and I wouldn't necessarily like. I get it too, in the sense of like I'm so even keel. Like, granted, I get stupid and like goofing around with my boys, but like if I'm mad or if I'm happy, it's the same delivery. So like, one of our friends said something to Mateo like, "Is TJ mad at me? Like he just like is so like monotone." And Mateo's like, "No, that's just him. Like you'll know if he's mad, but no, he's good." But I will never forget. Like I think at the time it was one of the toughest decisions I made to like quit baseball, and I like emotionally was like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I need to do. Like it's time for me to take the next step in life. And I like had not cried up until I get to the field and I tell you like I think it's time, and you were like I love you, and I was like okay, what are we doing? I have not cried all day today, and you're about to make me cry, and then I cried on the walk home, and I was like, Coach Sokoll, man, I get you every time.
Yeah, that's a my. I was going to talk to you about this, but one of my greatest accomplishments isn't an accolade. It's being able to have a trusting relationship with guys that are 21 to 25 years old. I come in first year coach. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. But it's also about letting them know that no matter what, someone sees potential in you.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. And I sometimes talk about this, but there were three guys, well, four, but Ian Walda. You remember Ian?
Yeah. Bruce. I had him on the pod. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but it was a good one.
And then we had Scott, but I'll get into these conversations in a second. And then there was there's another one that I can't. Oh, Brady Cappy.
Oh, Cappy, man.
Yeah, I love all my kids. But it goes to Ian. So Ian is so intelligent, and he studied pitching so much. The one thing that he lacked was someone that he knew believed in him. So before I got there, I feel like he was battered down with people just not speaking positively to him and believing in him and saying, "Hey, what you're doing is working.
Right.
Keep pushing."
Right.
Because him and Bruce had their own warm-ups.
Yeah.
They told me that. I had my own program and everything, and they did their own thing. I respected that. Okay? But it got to a point where Ian wasn't going to be seeing a lot of pitching time because he wasn't performing.
Right.
I pulled him aside and I said, "What do we got to do here? What do you need me to do?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Coach, I just feel like everything. I don't know. I can't. I can't throw strikes. I can't do this. He wanted to throw hard, which he did. He really did. But I always told him, I said, smooth as fast. not fast and smooth. Then I told him, I said, buddy, I believe in you, and I think we can get you to be a conference starter by the end of the year. I said that to him at the beginning towards that. And sure enough, he became I think he was like our second guy.
Yeah.
For a couple. But it was the coolest thing because he came up to me and he said, he was 25 years old at this time. He goes, Coach, I just want to say thank you, because he wasn't very talkative when it came to that stuff. He was like, Coach, I just want to tell you, like, I've never had anyone believe in me the way that you had. I said, well, I hope it helped you believe in yourself, because you're the one that was freaking riding the horse.
Yeah.
So you can take my biggest accolade is being able to get a relationship with all the guys like you, Blade Sloan, all my young guys.
Blade, my guy. I love Blade.
Yeah. I pretty much remember everyone, and I'm getting invited to weddings now. Everything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I went to Grayson's wedding, which I don't think he played with Grayson, but I have a lot of good a lot of good memories. And Chase McKinney was another one. Chase McKinney, such a great kid. I think Aaron Hedgecock.
Aaron, he's a firefighter now, right?
He is.
He's the guy that saved. Didn't he save that guy on the Louisville Bridge? That's not him.
That was Bryce.
Oh, okay.
That was Bryce. Yeah. So I played with Bryce. Was a freshman when I was a senior at UPI. So I played with Bryce for 1 year. But I just remember feeling it's like a sense of purpose when my kids, like when my players would tell me things like thank you, stuff like that. Like one time Bruce was like, Coach, I got a headache, all right, I'm just gonna run underneath the bus, get you some ibuprofen, and he goes, Coach, you do way too much for us already, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that, like, that he might not think that's a big deal, but those are, I don't need a thank you for making me a decent player or anything like that. Those are the thank yous as a coach that you want.
Well, it's the same concept of, like, I feel like men don't need a lot, but, like, to feel appreciated is really all we really want.
Yeah. I remember the hardest conversation I ever had, and you weren't there, but we were at Lindsey Wilson, and I'm sure the guys probably talked to you about this when, I don't even know if you're still playing or not, but I absolutely lost it at Lindsey Wilson. I told all the pitchers to go in the dugout, and I absolutely lost it.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
So I yeah, and after they came up and they kind of stood away, and then I heard Bruce was like, guys, get the message not to tell. I'm just like, that's the kind of stuff that you're supposed to do. Like Bruce was a good leader. Like all the seniors, but they were good. Those are the kind of things nowadays in the generation that we have. If I were to say what I said to the kids now, that I said in that bullpen, I would be getting phone calls from parents.
Yeah.
And I would be, now. So it comes back to getting the message, not the tone.
Right.
That's exactly what they got. And you want to know what? We gave up 6 runs in the first inning of that game. That's the reason why I lost it. I pulled Peyton Dove out. I put Ian in to get the last out of the inning. Did you know that we won that game 11-6? We didn't give up another run for the next inning.
That's
unbelievable.
But they got the delivery.
They got the message.
Yeah.
They didn't get the tone.
Right.
And those are the things that I'll cherish.
Right. Well, also too, I feel like there's so many underlying things, especially at the college level, where you play a role in people's lives, in the sense of, like, a lot of these kids probably, depending on their upbringing, probably been, probably on the teat a little too much. And then they come to somewhere halfway across the globe for some people, and have to kind of figure it out. So I feel like that sense of having somebody in their corner and supporting them, not in the sense of making sure they're doing, classwork or whatever, but actually invested in kind of their social life and making sure that they're adjusting well is definitely important.
Yeah, and there is not the universal way to coach.
Right.
Every player, every player is different, and you have to dissect that. Like I can't talk to you the way that I would talk to Luke Lubinecki
Yeah.
or Brandon Holmstrom.
Right.
I can't. There's certain you have to be able to, and that's where relationships come in. That's how I deal with my colleagues. I'm not gonna talk. Like I have several colleagues that I know that don't cuss, or they don't. I pick things apart like that. Or like coaches, if I go in their office and I know that they don't like to cuss and they don't like to talk about weird stuff or whatever, I'm those are the adjustments that you have to make.
Yeah.
And that's how you make relationships. Like you can't just go in. It's not about being yourself. It's about reading a room and respecting someone else's bubble. That's the biggest thing, man. Is you can always talk about being yourself, and that's great. When you're in someone else's space, that's the same thing with Coach Pitt. Coach Pitt is the most God-fearing. Like I've never seen a guy walk the walk and talk the talk.
I need to reach out to Pitt. I gotta get him on here.
He would blow the doors off this. Him and his wife Erica, and he's got 2 babies now, and he's doing really well. But when I was coaching with him, he coached me. He was the assistant coach when I was there. He was under Gassman.
Yeah.
When he took over and everything, and I was coaching with him, he goes, Jake, I'm going to tell you something. I know that you don't have much experience at the college level pitching wise, but I know I did pretty well, with my other stuff. But he was just like, I'm hiring you based on your character. Just like you're the fit that I want.
Right.
Everything like that. And I was like, man, that's unbelievable. I just remember I've never heard Coach Pitt stray away from his beliefs in anything. It was just always so, like, in that program you didn't cuss.
Yeah.
And that's a culture of thing, and that's a beautiful thing. Like if you want that, you stand by it. You want your coaching staff a part of it. Me and Sean, you remember Sean Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
a good friend. He was our catching coach, and we got some bad news that one of my former teammates passed away, and we had to kind of deal with that. And so we were actually walking to the hospital to go be with my former players or my former teammate's wife to kind of, be there for her. And Brandon Holstrom and Lubinecki were walking down from where the weight room was. It was up in the top.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
Yeah. We came down there, and I think Brandon cussed or something like that, said the S word or something out. Coach Pitt goes, and we're walking like down the side street, and he saw him. He goes, Brandon, 50 push-ups right now. And then my dude just kept walking. He just like he didn't say hi or anything. That is one thing that I respected about Coach Pitt. He was never changed. Never wavered from who he was and how he talked about people. I've never heard him say anything negative about anyone.
Yeah.
Like he might make fun of them and stuff. I've never heard him be negative about anyone's stance on anything. And those are the kind of people I like to surround myself with.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But also too, they typically. I mean, granted, I had this conversation, but like in the concept of like faith and just building a person is, I'm a firm believer that like when I die, what's waiting for me. But you might not be that way. That's fine. But if you're not there, like you're not at that point of like accepting, Jesus Christ, that's fine. You don't have to change anything. Like you don't have to give up a bad habit to be closer to him. But it's ultimately like as long as you stand firm on your faith, you're gonna work to progress to make the changes that you feel like are necessary to have that relationship. But it goes to the same concept, like as I mean, that was the first thing that I knew about Pitt is he was very faithful, and at the time that was not my lifestyle, but I respected it because he, like you said, he walked the walk and talked the talk. Like he did exactly what he is
Right.
had been taught. So like being in that environment, like you get the sense of I don't necessarily see it the same way, but I'm at least bettering the community or somebody else's life because I'm walking with him in that light. And I mean, granted, I have nothing bad to say about you and Pitt. The utmost respect.
And even if, I mean, even if I was talking about this the other day. I was thinking about this. There's sometimes where people will talk about you and everything, and but yeah, my mom used to tell me this. Tell me, kill him with kindness.
Yeah.
I've lived my life by that. Like
Yeah.
I've never been in a fight before. I've never, if someone, obviously, I'm trying to word this correctly. If someone said, "Oh yeah, man," like they start making fun of me. I'm like, "All right, man, that's cool if you feel that way." Like it kind of just makes them look stupid.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to punch them. You punch them in the face with that instead of that's it sounds corny and stuff, but that's how I live my life, and that's how like a lot of people know that I'm a gentle person. They know that I would never say anything bad about anyone.
Right.
And, like if I'm gonna say something about you, I will definitely say it to your face.
Yeah.
But as far as picking people apart and telling them that they're a bad person, why am I wasting my breath? Why are we doing this?
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah.
So like if that's the one thing I talked about before is with going through a lot of the hardships that I went through leaving college baseball. I had never been so my self-esteem tanked after that second season when Pitt left. That was the hardest year of my life.
Felt that. Felt that.
My wife said, we want to start a family. I was okay with you being gone all the time.
Yeah.
When you were with Coach Pitt. You were having fun. You were coaching with your buddy. You were enjoying it. She said, you are a completely different person. It's like, this is not fun for you. And I don't want you to and I agreed with her. I'm just like, I'm more emotionally exhausted than I was physically exhausted.
Yeah.
Even though I had a lot on my plate for that. And so it was just like, I don't know. I've never talked about this with people. People, they would tell me what the situation was like. They didn't live it. That was I don't want to get too far into it because I respect others and everything. But that was very difficult for me to watch my boys, and I didn't really care about myself.
Yeah.
I was watching my guys get pretty hurt, beat down, and there was some not right. I knew in my heart that I couldn't watch that. And it was a divided, almost was very, very tough, and I know you went through it, and I don't know.
I think it, ultimately it was just culture shock going from one they're basically just polar opposites. You know what I mean? But going off of that, like not in the sense of that scenario, because like I said, I mean I don't really. It's not my burden anymore. It happened. You can't really change it. But um, in the sense of, I mean, I'm sure I know the answer, but like, if you feel like you're in that situation and it's starting to take a toll on your home life, that's something that you take very seriously. I take it. I think I lost your audio. I can't hear you. You might have to hit your camera button, like turn it off and turn it back on. See if that works. It's happened before. Getting errors. Oh, we're getting an issue with the cameras, but we still got conversation. So where we're at was, do you kind of have a gauge of, okay, like I'm bringing something back that is not what is ideal for my family, like the negativity in the sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the, the biggest thing for me, man, was whenever you got someone that you love is saying, "Hey, like this is changing you as a person,"
Right.
and I mean, basically, when I listen to that conversation, it's like you're not the man that you were before, and I'm like, "Oh crap, like this is not good,"
Right.
you know. And so I'm just like, "Yeah, I need to make a change. I need." Because I was a banker, I was a banker for 5 years before I became a college coach. So I was already into sales and everything, and um, I kind of just went from there. I'm like, I'm gonna find this, and I was just blessed to be able to find a position that was in Pike County selling sporting goods. It was like something's working for me, so I
Right.
might as well go down this route. Um, but it was tough, and you know, but what I think is it helped me navigate tough decisions. Because you're not really going to get a tougher decision than that, leaving your dream job, you know. But it was an easy decision for me when it came to why I needed to make that decision.
Right.
And that's one thing is I don't know if other people do this, but I live for my family. Like I'm a very family oriented person. I love I love my family. I would do anything for them. They know that. So that's how I was raised.
But also too, I feel like it's your duty. Like
Oh,
as a father, as a husband, that's your job.
yeah. And I was raised. My parents. I'm so blessed, man. My parents have been together for what was it? Yeah, 45 years. Um, and June 28th is their anniversary. They got married 1980, and I've been very fortunate to watch love for 34, 35 years of my life, and and being older now, seeing how how they interact and everything, and pretty cool. And you know, I get most of my patience and my acknowledgement of family from. I mean, it's a mixture of my mom and dad, but my mom puts her kids before anything. My mom, if I called my mom right now and said, "I need you to bring me NyQuil," she would drive 6.5 hours and bring me NyQuil.
Yeah.
Like, she's dedicated to her family, and my dad. My dad taught is a big work ethic on my like. My dad worked hard for 40 years, man. Like he was a machinist. Yeah. One thing I always heard was my dad wasn't good at tests, but my dad was very intelligent when it came to fabricating things to fix them. He worked for the Detroit Free Press, and then he worked for some other, when he got laid off for a little bit. But um, he's always been a genius when it came to fabricating stuff. And I mean, the guy made me an iron mic out of sheet metal. Made it. It looked exactly like an iron mic, or an iron mic is.
Yeah. 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 Out of sheet metal.
It's yeah. Yeah, he
That's kind of
like put
wild.
them together, welded them together. Yeah. So you put the ball pitching machine, pull it, the spring and everything. It was unbelievable.
Hmm.
And I remember a lot of things. Uh, my dad always told me, but I always tell everyone this story. When I first started playing golf, I was a baseball guy, so I had the baseball grip and everything, and I had a big slice, and I was
Sounds
naturally
like me.
okay at
I just
golf.
started.
I did. you'll learn to love it. And I'll talk more about that here in a second. But my dad, I hit a sand shot and I freaking sculled it. And I got so mad that I threw my club out of the sand trap. I didn't throw it far, but I kind of flipped it. My dad looks at me and he goes, "Son, you're not good enough to get upset at this game."
Hmm.
I was like, wow. Even at 17, 18 years old, I understood it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I'm not very good, and I'm getting mad because I'm not hitting good shots. When in reality, my dad was a scratch golfer. When he hit bad shots, when you're very good at something and you make mistakes, it's like you can give yourself some leeway to get upset. But
Right.
when you're just picking something up, you're not giving yourself room to grow and learn from mistakes. You just keep hounding yourself. That's when you lose self-esteem. That's when you lose confidence and everything. But when you give yourself a little room to grow, did I lose you?
No, I heard you. I was taking it in.
No, I just you just have to give yourself, when you're doing something new, I call it a grace period. I wasn't going to be good at selling sporting goods. I've never played football in my life. I played flag football.
Yeah.
In gym class, and I was the quarterback, and the gym teacher was like, "Why don't you try out to be quarterback for our high school team?" I said, "Because I want to play football."
Yeah.
And I didn't know what a girdle was until I don't. But now, 5 years later, I can tell you everything you want to know. Because I gave myself room to grow. I still make mistakes. I do.
But also too, in the sense of in that, to build on that, to get upset of something that you're just now getting started in is almost a slap in the face to God, in the sense of you feel like you know enough about something that you just started doing enough to be mad about it. That's really good advice. I'm gonna take that into golf on Saturday. I'm going to play, and I'm gonna hit a bad shot and be like, I'm not good enough to be bad at this game.
Yeah, that's it. You're exactly right. Even and like you talked about before, man, like being a parent, you have to give yourself a grace period. I don't listen to other people when they tell me how to parent my kid, because that is the reason why we're put in the situation. That is why God gifted us a child, just to do it on our own.
Amen.
I'm not going to go read a book about how to be a parent. I know when the kid needs to be fed.
Yeah.
I know, certain cries. Oh, it needs to be changed. Everything needs love. Needs nurture. Dude, I'm not going to read a book on parenting when it's like parenting is like a snowflake. Everything's different.
Yeah.
Every person's different.
Literally.
Yeah, and it's just like picking up a new sport and everything. Everyone's swing is a snowflake. Everyone's throwing motion is a snowflake. Everything, all the parts are the same. Everything moves differently.
Very true. So what is it about golf for you?
It's like how challenging it is.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
It's the hardest sport to master. Not necessarily the hardest sport to play, because hitting a baseball at 90 miles an hour is pretty tough.
No, that's definitely tough, yeah.
Yeah,
but also there's days where I'm like, I wish I was hitting a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, opposed to try to hit a chip shot from 80 yards out and not sculling it over the back of the green.
Once you get to the point where you can, once you get to the point where you can enjoy golf, as in go out with your buddies and just not take it so serious, that's when you're going to learn the game a lot better.
Right.
You don't go out, when I'm going to play a good round, I want you to think about it like this. it's about course management. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah.
You know, so when I'm playing, I'm gonna play the course a lot differently than you because you don't like. I'm just saying you as in a general person,
I
but I'm
got you.
not
Yeah.
saying I don't never
Me
seen you play
personally. I
golf.
got you. Okay. Fair enough.
No, so like another person, like say someone who's never played golf before,
Okay.
they're gonna try and hit the ball as far as they can.
Or as hard as they
I'm looking
can.
at the Yes, I'm looking at the 150-yard marker that's in the middle of the fairway, and I'm trying to hit the ball there because I know that I can take a pitching wedge from 150 yards and more than likely reach green in regulation
Yeah.
instead of trying to hit the ball 300 yards over some trees to cut the corner, and then I have a 75-yard wedge, which is like a half swing lob wedge or a sand wedge. Those are the things. That's a lot like life. Like when you try to do things that are overcompensating for other things, like if you're trying to do too much or if you're trying to cut corners, everything like that. It's the time when you cut corners, life's gonna get a lot harder for you.
Yeah.
If you can manage the course and you can do things the right way, you're gonna score. Like that's it. Like that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of golf. It's a thinking game.
No,
It's a
for
lot
sure.
like pitching. That's why I love being a shortstop and I love being a pitcher. Those are the two hardest positions.
Well, too, I think
Shortstop,
that's
you're gonna
golf's one of those
yeah.
things where if you get upset, you're cooked. Like you're gonna have the worst day ever.
Oh yeah.
It's
There's a
such a
lot of
mental.
different
Yeah.
yeah. It's very tough, and um, but the coolest thing about it is I get to take my daughter out now
Hmm.
and play golf with her. She's starting to take interest in it. I bought her some clubs, and she's wanting to hit balls all the time. And those are the things that I cherish because I didn't get to have that with my dad until I was like 18 years old,
Right.
17 years old. And um, the funny thing is, my grandfather passing away, and I feel awful. But my grandfather always wanted me to play in the city championship of Taylor, which is where he lived and where he worked at Taylor Meadows. I want you to play in the city championship. He asked me that for 15 years, and I never played in it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm training, like working on my game, like actually doing golf-esque workouts and stretching to be able to play next year. And how fitting is it? And so listen to this. How fitting is it that I looked up what the date was of the city championship for this year because I wanted to play in it. It's the same weekend as his celebration of life at Taylor Meadows.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's like there's little things that you just say, wow, okay. I hear you, Norm. You know. So
All right.
next year,
All right, Norm. I'm gonna do it. You can get off my back now.
yeah, it's amazing how things just happen like that, man. And you go through, and I hope if there's someone out there that's listening to this podcast, I hope they get a little bit of what I'm trying to spiel out there. But I'm not perfect, and I don't listen to my own advice a lot of times. But what I get enjoyment out of is being able to tell someone something that I believe in, and I know they're mentally strong enough and smart enough to hopefully apply it, and it gives them an advantage in their life, and it gives them confidence, and um, I hope that my legacy is making other people better than just like you. What'd your sweatshirt say? Be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I want
too.
to help.
You dropped a lot of seeds on me, but I have one for you that I heard, and it's resonated a lot with me. So, granted, different facets. But definitely both like mentor leadership type people. One thing I heard, if you ever feel like you're struggling with something and you know the advice that you would give for it, the saying was, apple trees don't eat apples. The gift that you've been given to be able to mentor and lead people, you're not able to consume yourself.
That's very wise.
Yeah, that hit for sure. Because I'm like, I know what I would say if somebody was going through what I'm going through, but I'm too. I don't. I take it as too stubborn, but at the same time, I got to go a different route, which I think why I I lean so much on faith now. It's like I felt like for the longest time I was trying to figure it out myself, and now I don't have to. Because I
Yep.
mean, I don't think
That's
anything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? I feel like we're both at where we're at. We're for a reason.
yeah. That's one of my old mentors. I met him my freshman year of college. He's one of my pitching coaches. Um, we didn't like, he would say things to me during bullpens and everything like that, and all this, and I had a good relationship with him. But after I left, like, we obviously didn't talk too much, but I would always call him about business plans and stuff. Um, hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because for some reason my computer keeps like flickering. Um, but I would always talk because when I owned Strike Through Baseball, I had that facility, and he ran a 40,000 square foot facility up in Michigan, and I would pick his brain, and I'd say, hey, or I'd call him about, statistics and stuff like that, or rules for baseball, and he brought the MPA down here. I don't know if you know what the MPA is, but it's the National Pitching Association.
Okay.
It's the association that Tim House created. Tim House is the throwing doctor,
Yeah.
just like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Right. He's the guy.
All these great.
Right.
Yeah, he's the throwing guy. And he came down here, and we had a very successful camp, and I got a chance to tell him how much he meant to me, and 3 months later, I get a phone call from the executive director of the NPA. He goes, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Matt passed away in a car accident last night. So when I heard that, I was a wreck, because I lost a mentor.
Right.
Number one, but it's kind of funny how I relied on. After that happened, I kind of lost entered. Like I didn't really have anyone to lean on.
Right.
I was texting a mother the other day about her son. I've trained her kid for a while, and he's a very good kid, good ball player. And I was talking to her, and then I texted him, and I said, I wish I had me when I was your age. So I told him, I said, I didn't have someone that was, helping me with pitching. My parents were wonderful, and we didn't do lessons or anything like that, but I was the kind of kid that went out, bought a mattress, or had my mom get a mattress, and I would blow a hole in it, throwing 100 pitches all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like Dennis Quaid, like from the Rookie or whatever. But it was, yeah, I used to work on my own. My sister Molly got pissed one time because I took her little trampoline and I leaned it up against the barn, because I used to live in a farm, and I'd throw it from 30 yards away, and I'd hit it. It would roll balls back to me so I could field them like I was a shortstop.
That's pretty
and then
smart.
I'd throw it that way. That way I'd get my accuracy down too.
Yeah.
I was never taught proper fielding mechanics. I was never taught how to pitch, swing, anything like that, besides from what my dad taught me, and it's helped. But I normally just watched YouTube videos or anything like that, or watched professional baseball and then mimic swings and everything like that. And
So where did you get your passion for baseball from?
I personally think it's from my Uncle Glenn. My Uncle Glenn was a very good baseball player. He was supposed to he was supposed to get drafted by the Cubs or something like that out of high school, but he decided to go to college, everything like that. But he's probably where I got my passion from, because him and I both love, we breathe baseball. My dad is a musician, good athlete, but my dad loves golf and music, and not too much of a baseball guy, but he knows his stuff. And I just feel like I got the bloodline from the Gilbert side, which is my mom's side of the family. But we and him share that common interest, and just it's taught me. I wouldn't have the life that I have now without baseball.
Right.
We're getting real. I wouldn't have. I earned 3 college scholarships for baseball. Went to my freshman year. I went to Mott in Flint, Michigan, and I didn't enjoy it. I had some of my friends there, which they're all great friends of mine now. At the time, we're all young kids, and we were all jerks to each other. But
That's how it goes.
Leave. Yeah. So then I wanted to leave, so I went up to Grand Rapids and tried out for the team, and I got a scholarship there. And then that's where I met my best friend, Joe Morris. He was best man at my wedding. He was, like, I'd call him if I needed to talk about anything, and his wife's also one of my very good friends. I wouldn't have any of this without, me trying to pull a hole in a mattress.
Right.
I need to think about this stuff. It's just, I remember doing all that stuff. I remember all of it. I mean, I played hockey too. It's obviously from Michigan. So.
That's a real sport right there. Now we're talking, Jake. I didn't know that. But that makes sense, though. Michigan.
I played hockey for 16 years of my life.
I love hockey.
I was pretty good goalie. I could have played college. Could have played college hockey as well.
Wait, so you watch hockey?
Oh yeah.
Okay, talk to me. Who's your team?
It's my team. Obviously, it's the Red Wings.
Okay.
No, they're terrible.
All right. It could be worse. You could be a Blackhawks fan.
Oh my gosh. It could be. I bet you're a Florida Panthers fan because they've won the last 2 years.
No, I'm a Preds fan.
Oh, okay.
We're bad too.
I guess. Well, I guess they're not the closest team. The closest team would be the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, Columbus would be the closest, but I'm not gonna be a Columbus fan. I'm a Preds fan.
They got a nice arena. I've been down there.
Oh yeah, Bridgestone's real nice. But I do want to kind of go off of that, like your passion and like what drove you to stay in baseball, to kind of one of the topics you said you were interested in talking about in this NIL with the younger kids now.
Yes.
So, I mean, the way I see it is, if you have, like, of course, as a 19-year-old, I know 19-year-olds now, and they have no business having as much money as a lot of the 19-year-olds that are playing college sports now. In the sense of, like, they're not economically sound in, like, knowing priorities and all that. But I think a lot of it just goes into, it's taken away from the game. Especially, I mean, I'm sure that you feel the same way. It's something we have a lot of passion for. And you can see it directly affecting, granted, it's helping the institutions, but it's not helping the kids.
I do not think that it's helping the institutions. That is my biggest problem.
You don't think so?
No. So, the biggest problem here is when you have donors, right? So
Right.
most of your boosters are going to be the ones that are funding NIL.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem is do you think that those boosters are going to give twice as much to upgrade facilities? So they're allocating money that should be going towards facility and upgrades, now buying players, which is going to make student life, on campus tougher.
Worse.
It's also going to make, right, absolutely. And most of the time, there needs to be stipulations in place that, Al Kaline, hey, you know who that is? He's a Tiger.
Yeah.
So he played back in the day, and he just signed a big contract. He had a down year. I think he hit like 280 or something. He thought it was a down year. He gave $50,000, $100,000 back of his contract because he didn't think it was right that he was getting paid that much. Additional change. But the biggest thing is there needs to be stipulations on performance reviews. I don't think these kids should be getting these big $1 million contracts when they haven't even stepped on a college field yet. And that's the reason why you're losing great coaches like Nick Saban. Nick Saban built an absolute dynasty with hard work, great coaching. Yeah, people say that he was he was illegally recruiting. When you're winning national championships, like when you're a powerhouse for that long, you're getting recruits based off of your merit, and I think that's where Nick Saban left, was my merit doesn't matter anymore. When I got a kid that says, yeah, I'll visit your campus if you give me $1,000 cash. That's why he left. He's like, they don't care if we win a national championship. They want to get paid.
Right. But you don't think, I mean, not take Nick Saban out of the equation. But you don't think SEC schools were paying players?
Do I think they were?
Yeah.
I agree that there was boosters paying the kids. Yeah, but I don't think it would. There was boosters outside of the school that were doing it.
Yeah,
for sure. But you gotta think about where your regions are with your best players.
Right.
Your best football players are in Georgia,
Florida,
South Carolina, Florida,
Texas.
California. Texas mostly, yeah.
They live, eat, and breathe football in Texas.
Now you see the shift.
Yeah.
Texas hasn't been competitive in most things. And now look at it. They're competitive in every single sport now. Because they can now use their endowment money. Their school has the largest endowment in the country. Bigger than Ivy League. And now they can use that funding to get better players.
What do you mean by endowment?
So, anytime you have like alumni and everything like that, and then also like taxes from a state.
Okay.
Most of the time it's your donors,
I got
like your big alumni, that will put money into a pot, and then that's your endowment for the year.
I got you.
So that's your endowment for the 10 years to spend. So now they can take partial endowments. If you got, like, if I were to look up, the largest economic endowment globally is Harvard at $53.2 billion. So the endowment is composed of over 14,000 individual funds.
Well, it's also not for sports.
Correct.
Yeah.
Primarily for philanthropy.
Right.
Philanthropic gifts and everything like that. Yeah.
Everybody wants to say they gave money to Harvard.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But most of the time, my biggest thing with it is, man, it's just, you got some kids that are just not like Paul Skeens. Skeens doesn't.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, and he's gonna do well. I think he's pretty. I mean, from what I've seen in interviews, like he seems like a really laid back. But I mean, the guy knows he's gonna get paid. I don't think he went to LSU to get paid. I think he went there because he knew he was going to win a national championship and compete at a high level.
Right. I mean, you don't throw as hard as he does at 16, 17, 18, 19 and not get paid. Especially not in today's world.
Oh yeah. I just think it's ruining the incentive for players to work. Why would I want to leave? But I will say there is a good part about it, because you do have some kids that are not going to go professionally, and they get a couple thousand,
right.
Or and then they get a few 100,000 just for playing at Georgia or something like that, right. And then helps them leave school, pay for their debts and stuff. But I do think if you're going to sign an NIL, I don't think you should get athletic scholarship money.
That's fair. I think too. One thing, like, best case scenario is that they're financially responsible enough to know, okay, look, I'm making this money. Let me go and pay off my debt so I graduate debt free. That's best case. But also worst
Right.
case is they're driving around Mercedes and they're kind of splurging, expecting that. Because I mean, granted, as many times as you hear somebody say, you know, this doesn't last forever, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, that's not registering with you. You know what I mean? Like, you're like,
Think
okay,
about
you're just some has been. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. But wasn't there a kid that transferred to UCLA from another school? He's a quarterback, but he took NIL money. He took like $500,000. Can't remember. Hopefully I'm not speaking falsely on that. But he took the $500,000 in NIL money, didn't play, like decommitted, and then went to UCLA or something like that, which he hasn't played yet. He's coming into this year new. So he basically just like took the NIL money from that school and doesn't have to pay it back, and now he's going to a different school. So it's like, but that getting away from NIL, I think my biggest issue right now is just the decommitting of stuff. Because there's so many kids decommitting and not staying true to their word, and I just see it all the time on my feeds and everything like that. Or you go on ESPN, it's like, oh, the number 4-star wide receiver decommits from Florida and is committed to UK or and stuff like that. It's like that just me as a coach, like if I have a kid that I see that decommits from a different program, I'm like, what's going on there? I'm
Right.
asking questions.
But also, too, at the same time, how much of that, granted, we don't know, but how much of that plays a role in, oh, I got a better offer from somebody else, money wise?
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I agree with you there. Like I I stand I stand firm on this NIL stuff. I mean, Michigan's got we can pay players too now. And we can also cheat too. So that's
Yeah,
what we
yeah, you
want.
got away with that one, too, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, you still got to play the games though.
Yeah, no fair.
Yeah. But um, it's just frustrating to watch sports turn into this fiasco. I just feel bad, I know for a long time people were just like, oh, the NCAA is making so much money off these players and everything like that, and um, I do understand that. I
Yeah.
get that.
Well, especially
But
like,
there's
like if you did you watch that Money Manziel documentary?
I did, and I might watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's very good, but it gives you an idea of like, okay, there's a positive to NIL, especially at that level. Like, you know how much money? Just like think about it. How much money Johnny Manziel would have made in NIL if it was a thing when he was
Yeah.
in college?
Yeah.
Granted, he
Maybe
went about getting his money his own way, and it wasn't necessarily legal per se. I wouldn't say it was illegal, but it just, I guess, morally, it was wrong. But at the same time,
yeah.
Texas A&M milked him for everything that he was worth for boosters or whoever because it was Johnny Football at the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's just
But
I just
I think there's
my
another dynamic that the NIL stuff plays though, in the sense of, granted, I am at the kind of point in my life where, granted, I don't know if everybody hits it, but I'm just like thirsty for knowledge. So like it's constantly podcasts. What used to be music is now podcast or audiobooks or something. Because I mean, I can't really talk about pushing to be better every day and not living by that mantra. But I heard a guy talking about Kanye and faith, and said like, I think Kanye liked the idea of being a Christian, but it's hard to be a Christian and like give all your pride to something bigger than you when you're surrounded by people who are telling you that you're a god. And I think in a sense the NIL stuff is setting kids up for failure because they're
right.
egos were being stroked, and eventually, when the game's not there, they're not going to have anything.
Right. Yeah, and you can relate NIL money to, Dion's kid Shador. Like, I think he's a tremendous athlete. Shane Gillis said it best. He's just like, I think he did the ESPYS the other night.
Yeah. He murdered. He murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, yeah, they think it's nepotism, but I mean, the kid went 13-12 at Colorado, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl, so he deserved it.
That's good. That's real good.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, it's like me if I was a kid, and that happened, and I knew that I'm not good enough to have that number retired, I would be so embarrassed.
Like if you were Dion's kid.
If I was Shador, I'd be like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
I went 13-12. This is not a good career.
Right.
But granted, you can do whatever you want. Hey, things that people do, it doesn't affect my life. Like, that's the thing I told my wife. I said, man, I wish I was really a better sports fan because, there's a lot of people that I'm a Red Sox fan, so if the Red Sox lose,
Me too.
There's a lot of people. I'm just like, man, that loss is going to ruin my whole entire weekend. I told Kate, I said, I have never felt that way about any sports team.
Yeah.
I'm not that dedicated. I've never been like that. I wouldn't say that I haven't cared, but it doesn't affect.
Right.
Them winning series does not affect me.
Yeah. I think I was bad. So that's how I was raised. And my dad hated professional sports, but he would also, I think he would hate a lot of the aspects of college sports now, simply because he hated that a lot of NFL players just kind of showed up. That's all they had to do to get paid. He's like, there's no passion for the game. So you're seeing that with NIL too. I think kids are just coasting on getting paid. But I grew up in a household that was crazy about Louisville, and I would say until recent, I think having Evie kind of tightened me up, and I would get real bent out of shape and mad whenever we'd lose. And then it kind of hit last season, the season before. Granted, I'll still get mad in the instance, but it's not going to ruin my day. Like, okay, there's going to be another game next week.
Yeah.
But there's been moments. Definitely, Matea has pointed them out. It was a very big, my day's ruined if Louisville lost. I watched the game. We were at Newport Aquarium. This is like Evie just turned 6 months old, so we took her to Newport. And Louisville was playing SMU this past season. And it was like such a just shoddy game. And it had been consecutive 3-4 weeks that we would not get any calls. And I was pretty mad at the SMU game. Because we get a strip sack, run it back, and they call them down. That one was bad. I got mad, temper flared a little bit, but then I was like, okay, it is what it is. We lost. Let's keep it pushing. But I used to be way worse than what I am now. I think basketball season helped a lot because, granted, it's exciting to see Louisville basketball's back, but I didn't have any expectations. I wasn't expecting us to win a national championship. But it was good to watch basketball again. It had been so long. 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But I'm a big college guy. I don't know if it's a dad thing or what, but I could care less about professional. The only professional sport I watch outside of Super Bowls and finals games is the UFC, and I'm pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, my buddy, one of my good friends. It's funny how life works. When Kate and I first got pregnant, I'm gonna relate this back to UFC, I promise. So,
okay.
But when Kate and I first got pregnant, we saw a doctor, Dr. Moss at PMC, wonderful doctor. She actually delivered Claire, and then all of a sudden I started going to trivia at Broken Throne, and then all of a sudden I met her husband, and now me and her husband are very good friends,
Mm.
and my daughter hangs out with the kids. And now, she delivered Margot, and now we're, see him every once a week pretty much, and then he has UFC nights, so they have a very very nice house, and he's very generous and makes food for us and does all that, and so
So
it's pretty
you're
cool.
getting into it.
Oh yeah, I mean my dad's always watched it and everything like that, but I was gonna tell you, I don't have time to to I should have time because I mean the fights are like once every 2 or 3 months. Like I should be able
The big
to.
ones. The big ones are, yeah, like the championship contention fights. I've actually I always claimed to be a fan, but it was really like occasionally I'd watch. But like, it's getting to a point to where I watch like every fight night. Like it's getting I enjoy it. And then Matea I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I was watching a fight night, and she was like, she asked a question about somebody, and I was like, yeah, like he should win because of this, this, and this. And she was like, why do you know so much about this guy? And I was like, oh, it's just something. I think a lot of it plays into like my ADD and my OCD. So like I'll get into like spills of just absorbing knowledge that I have no business absorbing.
Yeah, Kate said the funniest thing. So she doesn't understand how I pick. I pretty much every year I pick the Kentucky Derby winner. She's like, I don't know how you do that. I was like, honey, you just pick the horse with the best odds.
Yeah.
She goes, oh. She goes, yeah, but that's no fun. I'm like,
yeah.
what's, what's no fun losing money?
Yeah.
She picks a horse. She picks the horse like 30 to 1. She's like, I think this is him. He's got a good name. I'm just like, oh, okay.
One day, and she's gonna win a lot of money.
Well, what 2 or 3 years ago they had one that was 30 to 1 or 80 to 1, and it won by default or something because
Oh.
the lead horse. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I don't remember what the horse's name was, but it was like 80 to 1, and it just freaking shattered the horse. It shattered the horse world. It was hilarious,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
But yeah, no, UFC is my one-off. I'm not like a devout fan. Like I claim the Preds, but it's not like I'm watching every game. But also, it's hard to watch Preds games because of the monopoly that news station has in Tennessee. Do you know about this?
Is it is it T not FSN, is it?
I can't remember who it is, but
Sports Network.
yeah, it's like a sports network based out of Tennessee, but they like own the rights to the games. So like you have to watch it on that to watch games. So if the Preds are playing at home, I can't watch it unless I'm there. So it's like
Yeah,
I'm not jumping
yeah,
through hoops
that's
to
right.
watch the Preds games. Like, I'm just gonna watch the score and be like, oh, we lost or we won.
Yeah.
But hockey's one of those things
Yeah,
you gotta watch hockey in person.
oh yeah, I went to one of my buddies. Him and his wife live out in Washington D.C., so we drove out there to hang out with them and their kid, and me and him went to a Capitals game. This is, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah, so like he was still chasing the record at the time. And we're not going to get into the nitty gritty because I was talking to the SID at UPike about this, but when I was watching that game, they played. I can't remember where they played, but every power play. That's the only time he played. Anytime the team was shorthanded, he was on the ice. 5-4. That's the reason, and he scored. It's like that is a terrible way to get a record.
Yeah,
But,
no, for sure.
I mean, he's 40 years old. I mean, he's just like LeBron. Everyone hates on LeBron. My dude, I'm 34, and I feel like I cannot believe what LeBron is doing right now at his age.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. You can say what you want about him. My dude works his tail off to be able to compete at a high level. He's still averaging 25 points a game. Like my dude is, my, my guy's unbelievable. I mean, it's just I don't get it.
right. No, I mean it definitely is impressive, and it made me think. Like it makes me think too. Like if if because I mean I've seen the numbers. He spends like a crazy amount of millions a year on his body and recovery.
around 2 million, I think.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, just on like making sure he's recovered. But like, granted, Kobe was going to Paris and stuff to do stem cell, but that was after he was already hurt. So like, if he had taken his health as serious as LeBron, like where would he be with his mentality? Like him and LeBron don't have the same mentality.
Right. Yeah.
Like LeBron wants to win, but also it's like, you see LeBron on the off season in like Kirks and Caicos or something. Like Kobe was doing 40-hour or 40-mile bike rides in the Nevada desert on the off season. Like it's just cut different.
You're not gonna see LeBron shoot 2 free throws with a torn Achilles.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think the smart business decision there is just to head to the locker room. But I will say,
yeah,
I think conversation wise,
Kobe
yeah, no, for sure. It's just different.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And also too, like I've always been a big Kobe guy. Like my earthly flesh, like a lot of like mentality and like focus and passion and being bought in. But like a lot of things that I didn't uh, connect to was when you talk about faith. Like like he talk about putting God first, and at the time it's not something that resonated with me. And now it's like, okay, like I get it. You can work hard, like you can trust in your body to an extent, but also you know that God will get you to where you need to if you put in the effort.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I think time wise, conversation's been good. I just have a takeaway. If you could give somebody a piece of advice, like somebody listen to the pod, any piece of advice that you think will help them, achieve whatever goals or whatever it may be, what would it be?
Do one thing at a time. And what I mean by that is try to do something different than you did the day before. Maybe it'd be meal prep for the next day, or wake up 15 minutes early, or start work 15 minutes early, or go for a walk. The time spent by yourself thinking about positive things is going to influence your life very, very heavily. But it doesn't have to be big things to be able to change your life. I will tell you, those little things added up over time is when you realize you're going to become successful. And a wise man, and a wise man once told me, he's my boss, and he said, Jake, I knew when I was successful at being a salesman is when I could go into a school and talk to that coach like he's my friend, and I don't expect him to buy anything from me, because I know that I'm probably going to get a text or a phone call or an email with an order. When you become successful, that's when you don't have to work as hard. I told him, I said, that's very wise advice, but you always try to outwork everyone, and just going back to my advice, one thing at a time. If you can change, wake up 5 minutes early. Tell someone you love them every day, or tell someone different. It doesn't have to be a big ordeal. Just one thing that you didn't do the day before that's different. Then you'll figure it out.
Man, that's pretty good advice. Hopefully it resonates with somebody. But I appreciate you hopping on the pod.
Yeah, man. Anytime, and I can get you Coach Pitt's number if you want. And
unless he changed it, I still have it. But yeah, just text it to me just in case. But yeah, I'll reach out to him and get him on the pod.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I love you. I loved your enthusiasm when I was coaching you, and you're a wonderful husband. You're a wonderful man. You're a wonderful father, and I hope you, if you ever need anything, I'm in your corner. And but I do appreciate you, and we'll be talking soon.
Absolutely, I appreciate you.
Blake.
All right, later. All right, chat. I appreciate y'all for being here. Hopefully, somebody who's helped me in the past said something that might resonate with you. Like I said, I appreciate y'all for being here. Be better, be easy. I love you. Not as much as Jesus loves you. Make sure you say a prayer tonight. Thank him for the blessings, the ones that you take advantage of, those that you sometimes just you forget about. He's working in all of us. Whether you have claimed him or not, he's right there. So talk to him tonight. Tell him thank you. I love you. I'll see y'all next time, baby.